While the entire world is currently focused on the summit in Washington, the real activity is taking place deep underground in Tehran's bunkers and inside the command centers of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Intelligence assessments indicate that Iran has activated a total retaliation operation in preparation for a possible attack. Tehran's plan goes far beyond defense. It aims to draw a wide arc of fire around Israel from the Hezbollah front in Lebanon, through proxy forces in Iraq and Yemen, creating a complete ring of encirclement. Hundreds of suicide boats positioned in the Strait of Hormuz and thousands of ballistic missiles are awaiting final coordinates to be launched simultaneously. This is not merely a single-front war. It is the preparation for a massive asymmetric assault designed to overwhelm and paralyze Israel's air defense systems through sheer numerical superiority. When the countdown ends, a coordinated attack wave rising from every corner of the geography at the same moment awaits us. Iran's military doctrine counters Israel's technological superiority with the concept of swarm attack. Field sources confirm that Shahab-3 and Fata missiles have been moved to launch positions. However, the truly decisive element of the attack is not only the missiles themselves, but the intense UAV, drone, operations that will be conducted through Syria and Lebanon. The primary task of these drones is to saturate and overwhelm the Iron Dome and Arrow 3 systems, thereby creating a corridor that allows the main ballistic missiles to reach their targets. In response, Israel has gone to the highest state of air defense readiness in its history. The presence of the American 12-ship Armada in the region serves as an early warning shield against Iran's multi-layered attack plan. Aegis-class destroyers positioned in the Persian Gulf are deployed to detect and track any object launched from Tehran within seconds. This has also ignited what is likely to become the largest electronic warfare battle in history. On the other side of the equation stands Netanyahu's preemptive strike plan. If Israel decides to press the button before Iran completes its massive attack preparations, this move will immediately turn every American base in the Middle East into a direct target. The Trump administration is walking an extremely thin line between protecting the safety of American troops in the region and preserving Israel's operational freedom. According to intelligence reports, Israel's target list does not include only nuclear facilities. The country's entire command and control centers and energy infrastructure are also in the crosshairs. This clearly shows that the war in the region will not be fought solely between armies, but between the vital lifelines of entire nations. Right now, both sides are waiting for the other to make the first mistake. While the entire world is currently focused on the summit in Washington, the real action is unfolding deep in Tehran's underground bunkers and inside the command centers of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Intelligence assessments indicate that Iran has activated its total retaliation doctrine in preparation for a possible attack. Tehran's plan goes far beyond mere defense. It aims to draw a wide arc of fire around Israel. From the Hezbollah front in Lebanon, through proxy forces in Iraq and Yemen, effectively encircling Israel in a ring of flames, hundreds of suicide boats positioned in the Strait of Hormuz and thousands of ballistic missiles are standing by, awaiting final coordinates for simultaneous launch. This is not just a single-front war. It is the preparation for a massive asymmetric assault designed to overwhelm and paralyze Israel's air defense systems through sheer numerical superiority. When the countdown reaches zero, a coordinated attack wave rising simultaneously from every corner of the geography will be unleashed upon us. Iran's strategic encirclement finds its most concrete expression on the ground through what is called the axis of resistance, its network of proxy fighters. The Tehran regime has taken the saturation attack tactic to its absolute extreme in order to overcome Israel's multi-layered air defense systems, namely Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow. This tactic does not involve merely launching a few hundred UAVs. It means simultaneously deploying thousands of low-cost kamikaze drones and cyber attacks, all targeting Israeli radars at the same moment. According to information leaked from intelligence units, the hatches of the secret missile silos in Iran's Semnan region have already been opened. Inside these silos wait the Fata-2 hypersonic missiles, designed to minimize radar detection time and paralyze Israel's decision-making cycle. On the other hand, as of today, the escalating activity along the Lebanon border carries with it the risk of the largest ground war of 2026. While Hezbollah is reported to possess tens of thousands of precision-guided missiles, the Israeli military's Northern Command has already approved plans for a deep incursion into Lebanese territory. Trump's Armada is not expected to function merely as a naval force, it is also anticipated to act like an air traffic controller in the region, striking missile launches in real time from the air and sea. However, missiles are far from Iran's only card. The strategic depth of the Strait of Hormuz has turned global oil supply into a choke point. If Iran closes the strait using naval mines and coastal defense missiles, the world economy could be plunged into darkness within seconds. The scenario of oil prices exceeding $150 per barrel is not merely an economic forecast, it stands on the table as an active weapon of war. At the very heart of these developments lies the red file that Netanyahu presented to Washington just before the February 11 summit. Netanyahu claims that Iran has crossed the weapons-grade threshold by enriching uranium to 90%, and he repeated his ultimatum: either you strike, or we will launch an unstoppable operation. This situation pits Trump's America First doctrine against the reflex to protect an ally, driving them into a major collision course. According to the latest field reports, U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, has deployed additional logistical support units to bases in Qatar and Jordan. This movement is not merely a defensive precaution, it is a deliberate effort to neutralize in the air any Iranian retaliation that may follow a potential Israeli air campaign. If diplomacy fails tomorrow morning, the outcome of this entire military chess game will ensure that history books record 2026 as the year when the global energy and security architecture collapsed. Forecasts indicate that within the first 48 hours of such a conflict, all power grids and internet infrastructure across the Middle East could be taken offline by coordinated cyber attacks. This could mark the beginning of a dark war, a form of conflict the modern world has never experienced before. Right now, everyone is holding their breath, waiting for that single sentence to come from Washington. Agreement reached. Or all units cleared to proceed. Imagine that exact moment when Iran fires the first missile. This is not simply a duel between two capitals, it could mark the beginning of the end of the modern world. When Tehran launches, promised faithful, 3, the skies over Israel will not only darken with missiles, but also with a ferocious digital storm pouring out of cyberspace. Iran's strategy is unmistakable: to plunge Israel's Iron Dome into numerical chaos. When thousands of low-cost drones and cruise missiles take off simultaneously, even the most advanced defense system on Earth will eventually reach its saturation point. And what happens if just one of those leaking missiles strikes the heart of Tel Aviv or the refineries in Haifa? For Israel, this would not be merely a military loss, it would be a profound societal trauma and the immediate lighting of the fuse for the Samson option. Israel's response will be the most surgical and most devastating air campaign in history. When F-35 squadrons slip into Iranian airspace through corridors provided by American radars, the targets will not be limited to missile launchers. Tehran's entire electrical grid, water resources, and the underground power plants at the heart of its nuclear facilities will be taken offline in a matter of seconds. Israel will not merely strike Iran. It will conduct a strategic blindness operation aimed at technologically returning the country to the Stone Age. Yet what is truly terrifying is the global tsunami that will rise in the aftermath of this clash between two titans. The moment this war begins, the value of everything, from the money in your pocket to the bread on your table, will change instantly. When the Strait of Hormuz turns into a minefield, 1/5 of the world's oil supply will be cut off at a stroke. This does not mean just long lines at gas stations. It means the global supply chain, in other words, the very functioning of modern life, will grind to a halt. Stock markets from New York to Tokyo could collapse overnight, energy prices could surge to levels once unimaginable. While Russia and China wait in the wings to exploit the chaos to their advantage, NATO and its allies will face the greatest military test in history. So, who will win this blind fight in the end? Perhaps this war will have no winner at all. Because the direct collision of two nuclear threshold powers would not only reduce the Middle East to ashes, it could turn the world order as we know it into dust. When we wake up tomorrow morning, will there still be hope for an agreement? Or will we be watching fire falling from the sky? The answer lies hidden in the whispers behind the closed doors of that summit in Washington. But remember this. Once the first shot is fired in a war of this scale, no one will be safe anymore. Keep your eyes on the horizon, because the real storm has not yet begun. Time is running out, the diplomatic table is shaking, and the probability of waking up to one of history's darkest nights is increasing with every second. Perhaps even as you listen to these lines, that irreversible first order has already been given somewhere in the Middle East. Remember this, every bomb that explodes in this geography will not only devastate the spot where it falls, it will trigger a domino effect that shakes every aspect of our lives, from the global economy to security. Here, we are not just analyzing a war, we are trying to understand how our very future will be shaped and what prices we will have to pay. So, what do you think will be the decisive move in this grand chess game? Is Trump's magnificent Armada a key to peace, or the final spark that will ignite disaster? Would Israel really go so far as to pull the trigger alone? I'm curious about your predictions and analyses. Please join me in the comments below. Every one of your comments helps us clarify this complex picture. To avoid missing the behind-the-scenes developments, leaked intelligence reports, and the hottest updates from the field, and to access the right information in this massive storm, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Only the brave and prepared can see the truth. Until our next critical analysis, perhaps on the very day the war begins. For now, stay well, and stay vigilant.